Hello guys, I'm going to be doing a bot lane analysis video specifically for ADC to hopefully help you guys understand what goes through the mind of a high elo bot laner. So right off the bat we have the Jinx, we have I'm going to be spectating Doublelift. He's going to be playing Jinx Leona versus Caitlyn Alistair. We have the lethal tempo, and we also have to note that Leona has heal instead of ignite, and then both supports have heal. The Caitlyn has the cleanse, of course, for the Leona, so you're gonna be winning the 2v2 straight up if you're going for trades usually. There, as you can see, we have Doublelift and the Leona playing in the bush, as they got initiative in the bush, and now they're trying to use the initiative and their early bush pile to win trades, but they're not really winning the trade at all. Doublelift takes a headshot passive from the Caitlyn's, as trading autos with Caitlyn while she's in the bush is generally not a good idea, because as you know, Caitlyn's headshot gets charged up twice as fast while she's in the bush. After taking a couple of bad trades, we're actually very low and losing in health. But Doublelift isn't too scared because he does have the barrier over cleanse advantage. Cleanse is extra good for Leona and Jinx here, because Leona isn't running the ignite, so she's just not gonna get any cleanse value from cleansing and ignite. Taking a Doublelift W's the Jinx, and you're gonna want to just like trying to take the tower, the CS under the tower, as safely as possible without losing health. You don't need to. You can see that the Rek'Sai is on his way bot and decides to engage. Knowing that his jungler is here, the Rek'Sai immediately sees that the Leona is going in, skips his Krugs, and goes for the dive here. Let's see if he can get another auto off, and unfortunately, the Alistair potions manages to give him just enough health to save him from death. It was a good attempt from Doublelift there, but unfortunately can't get the kill. Your jungler int, so you just want to push this wave and let it crash and take a base here, because there's nothing else you can do. Take this base, and as a Caitlyn, you see that the enemy team, you're the one with the lead, so, and you see that the enemy bot lane just backed, so you're just gonna want to push this in yourself and take a base and take this army to base as well, because you can't get anything. You can't really get anything else from him. And let's see what the Caitlyn has to buy here. She buys an entire BF sword, while Doublelift is sitting on just a call and longsword. Luna also buys a boot and refillable, and Doublelift is just slow pushing the wave here, making sure to have the Caitlyn, an opposing laner, miss as much CS as possible. And you don't want to try to crash the wave, because if you can't get the wave to crash on the tower, your wave will be stuck under an awkward spot where you'll be susceptible to ganks. That's a nice trade by the Leona there. Getting hit by the Leona E, although the Alistair stopped the Leona from fully going on the Caitlyn. Doublelift managed to get 2 autos on the Caitlyn, and despite having a double buff advantage over Doublelift here, the Caitlyn still loses out on the trade and takes a W2. So not only does the Caitlyn, not only is she losing in health, she also doesn't have barrier. The Caitlyn is very scared of walking up in case she gets E'd by the Luna, because even if the Alistair manages to block the Luna from fully going in, the damage still goes through. Doublelift has been doing a great job of punishing the Jinx every time she tries to go for a CS. As a Caitlyn here, you want to just push the wave in, because since it's in such a poor position already. Make sure not to do anything unnecessary. Alistair goes in on the Jinx to give space for Caitlyn to shove in the wave, and shove in the wave they do. We'll see the Cassidy running it on there. Doublelift isn't aware at all. I'm actually going to turn off the map HUD. He kind of misplaces the traps since the Cassidy, he placed the traps right here, and the Cassidy just walks forward and doesn't even need to try to walk around or dodge the trap. So Doublelift actually could have lived if he, or done more to live there, or made the Cassidy have to use his flash. But the poor placement of the traps didn't really help with that at all. The Caitlyn missed the cannon though, so not bad. Fall back to lane. What do we do with the wave here? As Jinx, you're probably gonna just want to hard shove the next wave, and look for, after you shove the next wave, you're probably gonna want to just walk in the river and get vision. It's not a cannon wave, so crashing the wave here will at least make them miss 1 or 2 minions. ADCs, oh, not at all. The ADCs now get home guards as well as every other laner, so it's more difficult to punish people who are facing and make them miss minions. And waves also come faster, so Caitlyn actually takes this opportunity herself to just go and roam mid instead of shoving the wave in and making the Jinx mix CS. Then she actually gets the kill on the Rek'Sai and pushes the mid wave in, and that was a good call by her, because in the end she gets the kill and also helps Cassidy shove in the wave. But she actually didn't fully shove the wave in, so that was, I'd say, a mistake on her part, since this Cassidy now has this wave in an awkward spot and needs to take half his health just to get the cannon minion. And that's all because of Caitlyn's poor vision mid lane. They're also training bot lane. The Quinn's getting pinged out, and Caitlyn backs off after a trade immediately. As if you're afraid, if you're suspicious of getting ganked, or you know you're gonna get ganked, you actually want to minimize trading as much as possible, because you don't want to be at 1 HP after trading for the enemy after the gank. And good engaged by the Leona here, since the Alistair can't actually do anything back. And a nice reaction, a nicely timed cleanse by the Caitlyn in response to the Leona Q. You want to push the wave here and help get the dive off, but looks like the enemy Cassidy was there to cover the dive, so you just back off. And as the ADC here, you just want to push another wave. I'm going to be saying this a lot, but that's all you do as ADC, really. Is that not much? You're not... Everything you do in the early game is just waves, 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 and maximizing the amount of minions you have. And this Caitlyn just presses E and Q backwards right into Doublelift's face and doesn't get punished for it. Wow. Damn, this game is starting off really poorly for Doublelift's team. They're starting off the game 4-11. Let's see how they bring this back. We can start by seeing the Cassidy is actually, despite being 4-1, he's half, not even a half of Quincy S. But even though he's getting low-key rolled mid, he still has his items on time, and he also has a Vladimir that's in exactly the same state he is, if not worse. Push the wave as Caitlyn and take a base. Make sure you don't die to the Alistair. And as a Caitlyn, you're probably going to want to hard shove this wave, knowing that the Jinx will try to back. And if she doesn't back, she'll need to stay in lane with half her health, which will be good for you anyways. Probably take this, and as a Caitlyn, take the tower plating. You know the Alistair is around here somewhere in the tri-bush. Looks like Doublelift will be able to get part of this wave. Let me see if there's a way to... What the heck? Number lock equals time. Number... What? Anyways. You see the Caitlyn and Alistair in the river, so you get this chance to hit the turret and get plating for free. You have to stall, hold them at the choke point, and fight them here. As the Caitlyn, I'm not too sure what Doublelift's plan was there, but he actually does win out on the trade using his barrier advantage on the Jinx, and now they're susceptible for a dive, but the dive is covered nicely by the Cassidy and Sejuani. After taking that trade with the Caitlyn, you see that it's a cannon wave. Let's see if we already canceled our back, so we're gonna stay and take the wave. Walks out of the bush in case the Alistair decides to face check it, and taking the wave up. Nice dodge by the Caitlyn here. The Caitlyn isn't in. Actually, they're both completed the first item, despite being 3 kills ahead of the Jinx. The Jinx is actually up in CS. So Doublelift, despite having a rough couple of fights that didn't go his way, is doing fine in CS department, which means he isn't doing too bad at all. 10 CS per minute. And this is what you want to do as an ADC. Just maximize the amount of CS you get, and make sure every play you go for, you don't lose out on CS. Unless it's a play that they need you to be there. But so far, there hasn't been a case where he needed to. You see that the Alistair is based on a ward and your Leona's top. The best thing to do here is to just shove this wave in and just walk in the river or walk in the tower and make sure not to die. And you just wait for your jungler or support to show up. Let's see what to do. You see Alistair. See? He is backtracked there because he was afraid of Alistair. But he saw the Alistair was in the river through a ward and is free to go in. Now you don't know where the Caitlyn is, and you're afraid that she's in this red bush. So we put the traps in the bush that reveals the... It gives vision of the tri bush, but we can't collect our CS because this Caitlyn is holding this choke here. Take the CS safely, and now you can walk up because you see that your Leona and Rek'Sai are walking towards bot lane. Once again, before you do anything here, just clear the wave and then see how you can help. see whether the Leona wants to fight and you can help her, or if they want to finish the dragon, or even if you're able to collect a plating here. The enemy decided to help with the dragon, and we can also do the ward here. As a passive, you can run faster back to lane, and there should be a wave here that Caitlyn just pushed that Jinx can collect. He faked based, or he was thinking about basing. How much gold does he have? He has 900 gold. To buy a pickaxe, but he sees that the Caitlyn and Alistar are actually mid lane, so he decides to push out another wave and then take a base. The Quinn got caught out by the Alistar and Caitlyn roam, so after he bases here, he's probably gonna just go ahead and walk mid, because as an ADC, the safest place for you to be when there's no tower at bot lane, when people are starting to promote on the map, is the mid lane, since there is the most. Since when you're mid, you get to roam across the map, since you don't have teleport, unlike your solo laners. And he ults the bot play, hits the Kassadin, but unfortunately the Quinn has already disengaged from the play. Push the mid wave. People sometimes ask if you should freeze the mid wave, but there's really no point in freezing nowadays. Freezing is like good around 20% of the time, 20 to 30% of the time, when you want to slow push a wave or want the enemy to miss out on like 1 or 2 minions. But in reality, you want to just clear the wave and then move into the jungle and look for plays or get vision. You get a kill. You CC log the Kassadin and you can escape, and we also get a kill on the Alistar. See, you take the CS mid and then you look and you see what you can help with or do later. You make sure you want to make sure that you set yourself up for success. Securing vision around the mid lane. Push the wave, secure vision around the mid wave, and then look for plays. So Leona's out of ward, she's gonna need the base. Take that into account. Sejuani might have ult here, she doesn't, but we can see that she doesn't. I'm not sure if Doublelift knows that though, but he needs to be careful of that. If he doesn't. He does need to be careful of that, but you need to be careful of that. Hopefully you guys get what I mean. You look for a play on the Caitlyn, she kind of extends and doesn't respect the Caitlyn, the Quinn ult roam. And the Doublelift gets his passive going and just runs into Caitlyn, hoping to get a kill on her since she doesn't have summoners, but instead the Rek'Sai finishes off the kill for him. We're at 2 items now. We went from Yuntel boots into the Infinity Edge to complete items at 19 minutes, and so is the Caitlyn. With the mid wave, make sure. Oh, can't get the cannon. You want to go help with this play, but you don't know where anybody is. Caitlyn walks in and reveals where everybody is, and you see that the Alistar is actually back there. And we fight over more vision mid lane. Even the center of the lane is important to see where the enemy laner goes. Because since your enemy ADC is doing the same thing as you, roaming bot or top after every pushed wave, the ward in the middle lane is very good to see where they end up in. trapping the teleport on the Draven. That's interesting. That's funny to see actually. A Draven teleporting since with the top lane quest. See that the enemy bot lane has already all roam bot to look for a play, but they didn't. Not only did they not find a fight here after the Draven teleport, they also lose out on the mid tower, and Vladimir gets to CS and get plates for free. So that was really bad. That was really bad from the red side. They actually lost a lot off that, but I guess it was just to secure the dragon. They're looking for a catch on the Draven since he backed on a ward, and they actually get a catch on the Draven. Sejuani sees that Doublelift is backing or walking up the river by himself and tries to look for a play. Probably because he's desperate and loses his entire health bar instead. Can you help here as the Jinx? No, you can't, because not only do you have no mana, you also probably have a ton of gold. Blocks the ult from the Caitlyn. You probably just want to push the wave and recall for the millionth time. Wow, this roll is so entertaining, guys. Same thing for the Caitlyn though. She can take this opportunity to reset. And looks like she did, because you can see that she spent all her money. Here we have the supports fighting over the vision. And looks like Alistar is getting caught and needs to blow his flash over after contesting the vision. The Doublelift gets excited with the passive, and the Caitlyn also dies as a consequence of the Alistar getting caught. So the Alistar, a single ward and fight over that one ward in the upper river. Not only did it blow the Alistar flash and get Alistar killed, it also got the Caitlyn killed and Draven killed. Which, and after killing all of them, it gives them free reign to just do the Baron. Like the Cassin will get a solo kill here though, which is not traded. Will you get traded? No, you won't. Anyways, it is a free Baron. Well, not exactly free, but Luna did a good job on making sure that Sejuani didn't ever have an opportunity to steal it. And Sejuani, being as desperate as she is, tries to do anything, but unfortunately she ends up flashing, trying to live, and ending up on the same side as the Queen. That's a huge swing in gold. So despite their kills being the same, they're actually up 4,000 gold. And now Doublelift is actually ahead of this Caitlyn. Those 3 items completed. What you want to do here with the Baron is make sure that you don't get caught. Wait for your teammates to group and push and siege a turret. See his pathing here. You don't want to blindly walk into no vision where they can easily collapse and flank you from. Instead, they opt to go for a safer route, the bot lane turret, and while getting vision and control of the area, they find the Sejuani and also find the Caitlyn who needs to blow her cleanse. And we have Doublelift. It's free autoing whip, and although he ends up needing to blow his flash, gets a kill on the Alistar and Draven, but walks a bit too far forward, and Caitlyn is able to flash and finish Doublelift off.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
That's okay though, because Vlad got a top turret. I feel like They definitely could have played that more safe. Doublelift didn't need to run up here after he had only like 400 HP and killing the Draven and Alistair. But that's always a hindsight. In the moment, you probably feel like you can kill everybody there. They could have done more if he didn't die though. They could have gotten this turret and gotten more of a lead. As well as Vlad might have been able to keep pushing the top lane tower and start getting plates on the inhib tower. After respawn, you're probably going to want to play for the dragon here. Wait for the Yona to walk in first, because Sejuani, you want her to block the Sejuani ult and also tank that. Yona successfully blocks the Sejuani ult and walks away, basically scot-free, but you are half HP. Should probably walk back and get the red buff here, but after doing a really good job of doing damage from over the wall. And an easy team fight set up by his Rek'Sai going in for the dragon steal, or for the dragon fight, and Doublelift is able to hit over the wall and collect a bunch of kills. Hit the dragon. And this is how you close the game out. Just making sure you know the exact steps. Make sure there's no wasted time. Get the objective. You know what you want after a 3-man advantage ace.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
As you're leaving from taking their entire base, look to take their jungle camps. Does need it back. Yes, does have 3,000 gold, but I don't think he does need it back. He's full health. Caitlyn walks in and just gets tapped by the Quinn there. But they also catch the Draven, the Vladimir recalling with the Draven teleport. Gonna pick on him. They're 8,000 gold ahead, and I can't imagine that their team on the right side will put up much of a fight for longer, as it doesn't seem like anybody on their team can deal with either the Rek'Sai or the Quinn, and in fact they're gonna have a even tougher time getting in range to do damage to the Jinx while she's in rocket form now. You got the mid lane inhib. What do you want to do as a team? Just push the other lane. Since this was pushing in, you can try and siege the top tower. This is why they're all grouping top lane, getting the control of the top side. And is the Baron spawning? And it doesn't show, or I can't imagine that the red side being this far up from their base is a good thing. It's a 4v5 for the blue here. It's 5v5. If you're behind or if the enemy team is ahead, you usually don't want to make an engage. So the team fight was lost the moment the Alistair made the engage there. It didn't seem like Raven would do too much here. And just like that, the game will end. Well, the game started off pretty bad, but they managed to come back through really nice picks by the Quinn and Rek'Sai. and Doublelift was able to do his job as a humble ADC and clean up the fights. Well, that wasn't as interesting as I thought it would have been, but hopefully you guys gain a little bit insight as how Doublelift plays the game. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.